not seeing any attendees.
Jeff, what'd you say?
I said, I'm not seeing any attendees. Oh, here's one. Give it a few more seconds, I guess. Well, it's 6:01. I guess we'll get started. Welcome, everyone. We're here tonight for the Maine DOT locally administered project, East Avenue improvements. This is a 0.6 mile paving and sidewalk improvement project on East Avenue between Tampa Street and Fairlawn Avenue. We have the design engineer, Goral Palmer, here this evening. We'll do a presentation on the project. I'm Jeff Boley, the city engineer. We have Paul Niehoff, who's our city project engineer on the project. And I guess I will turn it over to Travis Landry to introduce the project. Then we'll have a question and answer period at the end. Feel free to insert a chat at any time if you have questions, and we will answer those at the end. So take it away.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. I'm Travis Landry. I'm with Goral Palmer. I'm a designer on the project. Also with me is Don Ettinger. He's one of the principals with us. So like Jeff mentioned, this is our preliminary public meeting for this project. We're going to go over the East Ave improvements and seek any comments that the public may have. I'm going to give a short technical presentation and we'll follow with questions and answers like Jeff mentioned. So we'll now share my screen and start the presentation. Okay. So you should be seeing, and let me know, Jeff, if you can see that. All right. All right. Excellent. Okay, so as Jeff mentioned, this is for a Maine DOT locally administered project. The WIN number for this project, which is the work identification number, is 22388.00. This is the East Ave Improvements Project. Jeff also mentioned that this is an LAP project or a locally administered project. This project has state and federal funding. The project is located on East Avenue and it begins at Tampa Street and it extends approximately 0.6 miles to Fairlawn Avenue. It is worth noting that this project does not have work within the intersections of Sabattis Street in East Ave and Russell Street in East Ave, but it does go up to each side of those intersections. The scope of this project consists of sidewalk reconstruction and ADA improvements throughout this area. We are also planning roadway resurfacing that will include a variable depth mill, shim, and 1.5-inch pavement overlay. This project will contain some box construction in the shoulders, which will just pretty much remove the existing gravel and replace it with new gravel and new pavement. This will be done to help meet the cross slope requirements of the roadway. Also part of the project, we are looking to install a two-way center turn lane through the majority of the project. That will pretty much go from Tampa Street to Russell Street. Some of the roadway characteristics for East Avenue. East Avenue sees between 15,000 and 3,100 vehicles per day. It has a corridor priority of 1. Corridor priority is a numbering system that Maine DOT uses to classify different roadways in order of their priority. A corridor priority of 1 is a roadway that is a major road similar to an interstate or another major route. And a priority 5 roadway is more toward the local road or a smaller scale road. So as I mentioned, East Avenue is a corridor priority 1 from Tampa Street to Russell Street. And then from Russell Street to Fairlawn Avenue is a priority 4 roadway. And the speed limit along East Avenue within the project is 30 to 25 miles per hour, depending on where you are on the project. I'll now give a brief overview of some of the graphics you will see during the presentation. Yellow represents proposed shoulder pavement and also travelway pavement. So that is pretty much anywhere that is the proposed road. Blue will represent proposed drainage. You'll see some of that on the plans. Gray represents proposed sidewalks. A lighter gray is an existing sidewalk. And also gray you will see in areas where there are buildings. Orange shapes represent existing pavement. And you'll also see in black, you'll see pavement markings, right-of-way lines, and property owner names on these graphics. And I guess I'll also note that trees will be shown green, and if they are to be removed, they will be in red. I'll now talk about the first section of the project from Tampa Street to Homefield Street. Some of the proposed work, we have sidewalk improvements, ADA ramp reconstruction. That is on both sides of the road in this area. We are also looking to implement a 2-way left turn lane starting at Tampa Street, and the 2-way left turn lane will allow vehicles making left turns to queue in the middle of the road and not block through traffic. We are creating this 2-way left turn lane by removing one of the through lanes in the northbound direction along East Ave. The next section of road I'll talk about is Homefield Street to Sabata Street. We are continuing with the sidewalk and ADA ramp reconstruction along both sides of the road, and also continuing the 2-way left turn lane through this area. It does change to a dedicated left turn lane at the Sabata Street intersection. So there will be some changes to lane arrangements and where you can turn. I'm sorry, not where you can turn, but how you can make left turns at the Sabata Street intersection. The next section of road is from Sabata Street to Russell Street. In this area, we have sidewalk reconstruction and ADA ramp improvements proposed, but it is only on the east side, on the west side of East Avenue, which is shown on the top of this graphic. In this area, we're also proposing a 2-way left turn lane for the stretch between Sabatis and Russell Street, and dedicated left turn lanes at Sabata Street and Russell Street. And the last section of the project from Sabata Street to Fairlawn Avenue, and I apologize for, there's a typo here, and it's not Sabata Street. It would be from Russell Street to Fairlawn Avenue. We have no sidewalk reconstruction, and we have a mill, shim, and overlay of the existing road in this area. And I will note that we do have some ADA ramp improvements proposed at Fairlawn Avenue just to bring things up to current standards. So as part of the project development for this, we have coordinated with utilities. There are utilities on the project, both underground and overhead. So we are completing utility coordination and coordinating any proposed utilities that will mainly consist of utility poles that need to move as part of the project for sidewalks or any other proposed work. We are coordinating with environmental agencies on any required permits and making sure that we are covered from the environmental standpoint of historic aspects of the project, as well as any other environmental permits. Right of way for this project, right of way will follow the main DOT process. So on the graphics that you have seen, we are showing the existing right of way. There will be plans developed that will provide information on the preliminary grading limits, as well as any impacts that the project may have on properties. Any work beyond the right-of-way limits may require property acquisition or easements. And as I mentioned, we'll follow the federal right-of-way acquisition process, which will be defining impacts, completing appraisals, offers, negotiations, and condemnation once that is all complete. And I will note that the DOT will lead the right-of-way process for this project. I'll now talk about maintenance of traffic, costs, and schedule. The maintenance of traffic for this project. Work will be completed in the day and night for this project. Paving work and lane closures are going to be required to be completed at night. Day work can be used for sidewalks and lane shifts within the project limits. Those are going to be less impactful to traffic. And that is mainly the sidewalk and ADA construction. As far as estimated costs for this project, right now, we have a total project cost of around $2.3 million. This project is currently partially funded, but through this process, we'll be getting a better idea of what is needed for funding and updating that as we progress. Schedule, we are looking to complete the design of this project in 2023 and 2024. The right-of-way process will likely begin in 2023 and continue through 2024. And construction for this process will be in 2025. And with that, I will now open up to questions and comments, if there have been any. Jeff, I think you may have been muted.
Sorry. We do have a hand up from Kira Kiefer. I will allow Kira to talk. Feel free to ask your question.
Hi, Kira Kiefer. I live on Tampa Street. I have a bunch of questions, so I'll just ask them in order. Will any new crosswalks be installed during this or implemented? Example being like a crosswalk from Tampa, like across East Avenue at like Tampa Street or anywhere else?
At this time, the only crosswalks that are proposed are along side roads, crossing side road intersections. We do have crosswalks at Sabata Street, but no new ones are proposed as part of this project across East Avenue.
Okay. My second question is, are the sidewalk widths being widened at all, or are they maintaining the same width?
That's a very good question. Currently, we are looking to generally maintain sidewalk widths. We are trying to work within property constraints and right-of-way constraints that we have along the project. There are a few areas that we are proposing an esplanade, which will be a grass area between the sidewalk and the roadway to help kind of create some separation from traffic and give a little bit more of a comfortable pedestrian walking environment. But generally, we are maintaining a 5.5 foot sidewalk width within the project. So I think what's out there now varies from what is likely less than 5.5 feet to some areas that could be more. But that is what we are currently proposing as part of the project.
Okay. And in addition to the sloped ramps at intersections, are you planning on implicating any truncated domes in addition for your ADA integration?
Yes, so the truncated domes will be proposed at all striped crosswalks. So anything that crosses an intersection or a side road, we would be proposing to install truncated domes. Where they would not be installed is areas like driveway crossings. So those ramps may not have or will not have truncated domes proposed.
Okay. And my last question is, are you anticipating any utility impacts once construction starts?
Currently, we are proposing a few new utility pole locations. But as far as underground impacts, we're not seeing any major impacts. There may be some minor impacts just with, where a water valve might be or things that would be impacted by this construction of a sidewalk or any required drainage improvements, but no major utility impacts are anticipated.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Looks like we only have one other attendee besides Marion Brenchick, our Public Works Director, and Tobin Williamson. If Tobin has any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, no. Great. Hi, Tobin. You may speak.
Hi, Tobin Williamson here. I'm an appointed member on the Lewiston Auburn Complete Streets Committee. And unfortunately, I joined about 15 minutes late due to another meeting. So I just got on when the first Q&A started. So I'll have to go back and look at the recording or the notes or something. Nothing to edit this time. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We will be, it is being recorded. We'll be posting it on the city's YouTube page where all the other council meetings and public meetings are posted, so you can review it there. And I don't see any other chat questions or attendees, so I guess that will be it. Thank you, Travis, Don.
Thank you.
Have a good night.